let's clear something up right away. You want to be smart? You know the typical advice. Go to school for 20 years, rack up 6 figures of debt, and voila, you're smart. Except instead of becoming a genius, you're more likely to end up living in your parents' basement with a fancy diploma on the wall. Maybe you think you need the genetics, but irrelevant. Your brain? Already overpowered compared to every other species. If you think you're dumb, don't worry. You're not. Now, here's the real issue. When you say you want to get smarter, what you really mean is a bunch of things. You're not just talking about knowing a little more trivia or being able to spout off some random facts. You want to learn skills. Skills that actually matter. High income skills. Ones that can make you money or open up opportunities you've only dreamed of. We want to solve important problems, like helping our parents with debt. And let's be honest, we also want to be able to engage in conversations with confidence, to sound smart enough that people take us seriously. It's about confidence, pride, and, yes, maybe showing off just a little. Most of the advice out there? Useless, philosophical, and only really practical if you're Oprah. All the follow your passion and just work hard tips don't really help us. They sound good in theory, but in practice they don't make a change. The specifics, they're even worse. You've seen them. Eat blueberries, drink black coffee, sleep 8 hours, listen to Mozart. All great. Now you're hydrated, awake, and full of antioxidants. But you're still clueless, and the frustration starts to build. You feel like you're doing everything right, but you're still falling short. That nagging feeling of being left behind creeps in, and the harder you try, the more you feel like you're spinning your wheels. Stuck in a loop of effort without progress. But don't worry. Just stick around until the end of this video, and you'll have a clear, actionable system to become smarter starting today, and no blueberries required. I've been there. I used to think self-improvement and being smart meant memorizing endless trivia and acing every test. So I buried myself in books, cramming useless facts and trying to sound like a genius, sound smart, quote things I barely understood, thinking it would make me stand out. And newsflash, it didn't. In fact, I once had tried to impress someone at a party by explaining quantum mechanics. Instead of being blown away, they asked me if I wanted a refill on my drink. Even when they're interested, they give me one question and I'm screwed. Being smart isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing how to learn, how to improve yourself in a way that makes a real impact, and how to actually use what you've learned in a way that connects with others. You need to understand that becoming smarter doesn't require expensive courses or overworking yourself. Once you know the system, you can learn anything faster, remember it longer, and even sound smart while staying likable. So, what's the system? Well, let me explain it to you with a few stories I experienced. Back in high school, I hated reading. It always felt like a chore, until one summer when I stayed over at a friend's house. My friend handed me a science fiction novel about colonizing Mars, raving about how it changed his perspective about life and the human species. I picked it up expecting to skim a few pages, but within a few minutes, I was hooked. By the time I finished, I realized something else. I wasn't just reading faster. I was picking up new words and ideas without even trying. And suddenly my conversations felt sharper, more engaging, almost like I'd been practicing dialogue the whole time. Then there was this one psychology book I found later. It was full of insights about why people do what they do. I started jotting down notes, not for a test, but because I couldn't wait to share those insights with my friends. The next time someone asked me about motivation, I casually dropped a concept I read about, and their reaction was priceless. Wow, I never thought about it like that. And that felt really good. But textbooks, that was a different beast. I started staring at my chemistry textbook in college, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. Then an older student gave me a game-changing tip. Don't dive straight into the details. Read the summary and introduction first. Get the big picture. Following that advice, I started to see how everything connected, and now even complex formulas made sense. But here's the point. Reading this isn't just a passive activity. Dive into fiction to speed up your reading and improve your flow in conversations. Choose nonfiction that genuinely excites you to gather real insights you can use. And don't underestimate textbooks. They're gold mines if you tackle them strategically. So with that being said, I've gathered a few affiliate links under the video with my favorite books in each sector. Just saying. Now let me tell you about a time that I decided to learn how to play guitar. I always admired people who could effortlessly strum chords and sing along. So I bought a brand new guitar, watched a few YouTube tutorials, and imagined myself performing at campfires. In no time, I spent more time watching tutorials than actually touching the guitar. When I finally tried playing, my fingers felt like they were made of stone. The chords didn't sound right. My strumming was awkward and I got frustrated really quickly. I even thought, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But then I shifted gears. Instead of trying to play an entire song, I focused on just one chord, G major. I practiced switching my fingers to that position for 10 minutes a day. Just 10 minutes. And then I added another chord. Slowly, I started to string them together. And one day it clicked. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when it happens. And I finally played a simple version of Wonderwall. Once I experienced that tiny success, I was hooked. I couldn't stop. I practiced daily. I mean, not for hours, I was busy, but consistently. A few weeks later, I played my first full song in front of a friend. Was it perfect? No, not even close, but it worked. And it felt incredible. It is tempting to get stuck in learning mode, thinking that consuming information will make you better. But until you take that first awkward step, whether it's strumming a chord or solving a problem, you're just spinning your wheels. You gotta start small. Embrace imperfection, embrace failure, and keep practicing. Every bit of knowledge you have is useless if it just sits there and you don't use it. Here's another story. Back in college, I had a history exam. I was dreading it. I did not want to do it. I tried rereading the textbook, but the dates and events would not stick. And a friend suggested something really simple. Take your notes into quiz questions and test yourself. Make it more fun. I pretended I was on game show, where getting a question wrong meant losing $1 million. The added stakes made me focus harder. By the time the test rolled around, I felt like I'd already aced it. So what you need to do is turn what you do into activity challenges or quests. Whether it's a textbook, exercise, or business, things like cold calling. Practice recalling under pressure, and it will be. Now I'm going to show you one of the most powerful parts. Most people think they need to be perfect after they've tried maybe 2 to 3 times really hard. Discipline, consistency, and patience will get you farther than trying to achieve everything overnight. Consistency beats intensity. Instead of aggressively trying hard or trying to master everything at once, focus on setting a small, achievable goal, like learning one new thing every day. Stick with it, and over time, you'll be amazed at how far you've gotten. It's about showing up day after day and building the habits that make learning a lifelong process. A smart and disciplined guy understands that it's not the quick wins that matter, but the steady growth that builds lasting success. And that's it. Now watch this video to get more discipline.